observer. Alpha 3 rounds, AT delay in effect, 3 guns. Bravo 2 rounds, 2 guns, smoke on the deck. SEAD, CAS TOT 62. Target number, Hotel November 5209, request splash out. Shot over. Splash out. Record his target. End of mission. Target suppressed out.
In this video, we will be covering linear danger areas, or LDAs. The most common examples of LDAs include roads, trails, paths, and railroad tracks. However, these techniques can also be applied to streams, creeks, and other open areas. There are two types of LDAs, known and unknown. A known LDA is one that is depicted on a map and that you can plan on crossing either going to or coming from the objective. An unknown linear danger area is one that is not depicted on the map and that your patrol comes upon unexpectedly. For unknown linear danger areas, your crossing point is where your direction of travel crosses the linear danger area. It must be a suitable crossing point. If not, maneuver around to a better side. Why is crossing an LDA important? Crossing an LDA as a light infantry element is extremely important, especially if in enemy territory, because this is when the element is most subject to overwhelming firepower, such as heavy weapons mounted on vehicles, enemy numbers, or detection. LDAs should not be overlooked. Too often LDAs are brushed off as slowing down the element's speed to an objective. However, failure to cross an LDA correctly could lead to the mission's compromise. During mission planning, each LDA should be talked through on the technique that will be utilized. That way, when the element comes across the LDA during movement, it is executed smoothly. Unexpected LDAs need to be communicated to leadership immediately. Leadership will then apply the techniques best suitable for the situation. A leader may choose to reconnoiter the LDA further to determine the best technique, crossing point, or risk involved. Whatever technique is applied to an LDA, there are always two major factors that are dependent on its success: security and exposure time. Security should immediately communicate any possible threats. Mission details should dictate if the security should immediately engage the enemy contact, or if the element should lay low in concealment and allow the potential threat to pass before the rest of the element crosses the LDA. These things should be established through group SOPs prior. Security is always a priority in all situations. However, with LDAs, exposure time may be more important. The idea is to cross the LDA quickly, minimizing time on the danger area and thus lowering the possibility of being detected. The first technique we will cover is gating the road. This is where security is established on both sides of the LDA with security in both directions. Follow-on teams or squads move through the middle or the gate, while the element pulling security is able to focus on that alone. Gating is ideal for large, wide open LDAs where the movement across will not be quick. It is also ideal for large elements such as multiple squads or even platoons that will be crossing. It is also important that the gates are not established on the road or path itself, but off to the side of the road in cover and concealment. This is because any potential enemy driving down the road will no doubtly be focused on the road itself. Being off the road allows the option to allow the enemy vehicle to just simply pass by. In this example, the team leader selects to overpower to the left side of the road with both of his power weapons, the automatic rifle, and a grenadier. However, in most situations, the power weapon should be split, looking down opposite sides of the road. First established is the near side gate. After the near side gate is established, the rest of the fire team pushes to the far side and establishes their side of security. After both gates are set, follow-on teams, squads, or even platoons are free to move through the gate. After the entire friendly element has moved across the LDA, the near side gate picks up, moves across in between the far side gate, and then the far side gate picks up when all friendly elements have crossed the LDA and brings up the rear.
Set. Moving. Let's move.
The next technique we will cover is scrolling the road. The term scrolling the road derives from the U.S. Army's 75th Ranger element that puts their scroll patch towards the road when pulling security. The first soldier in the element moves up and puts his right shoulder to the road, pulling security down that side of the road. Second member in the fire team moves up and then bumps the first soldier to the far side of the linear danger area. That soldier then pulls security opposite of the direction he was pulling the first time. This bumping then continues until the entire element has crossed the road. Scrolling the road is ideal for smaller linear danger areas, such as coming out of a wood line to a small path and then moving across to a far side wood line.
Last man.
The final technique we will be covering is the together push technique. This is where all fire team members push across the LDA at the same time as quickly as possible. The theory behind this technique is simple. Get across the LDA as quickly as possible, minimizing the exposure time and the time the enemy has to adjust to put rounds effectively on the element. For example, an enemy rifleman is pulling security down the LDA our friendlies are about to cross. Usually he would get eyes on the first or second man crossing the LDA, and then by the time he looks down his sight and acquires the element, he has sufficient time to hit the third or fourth members. However, with this technique, by the time the enemy rifleman acquires our friendlies, looks down his sight, and then engages, they are already across the LDA.